What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the RDA. I hope you are doing well. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Jesse Lingard transfer rumors, as well as the situation with Manchester United at the moment not looking like they're going to sign anyone, because I think it's something we should talk about, but I'll get to that at the end of the video because that's a little bit more negative, I would say. Jesse Lingard, the positive news, I would say. Positive news for him as a player, positive news for Manchester United, positive news for some Manchester United fans as well. I know a lot of people will fall into the trap of sentiment, and that's okay because I like Jesse Lingard as a person too, and it's unfortunate to see a player that we all thought had so much potential depart with the club, or potentially depart with the club. But there's a lot of noise going on around Jesse Lingard at the moment, as well as West Ham United. They reportedly, according to Sky Sports, want to move in on a loan deal till the end of the season. Now, I do think that Jesse Lingard leaving to go to a club like West Ham is a very positive deal because, number one, he will get a lot of first-team football in a quality club. I genuinely do think that. Like, you don't just loan a player in to not use him unless you're not a well-run club, number one. Number two, I think it will be good for his mental health and it will be good to just refresh him as a human being because, honestly, sitting on the sidelines at Carrington and at Manchester United, in my opinion, probably hasn't helped him that much. Yes, he needed a break. Yes, he needed some time off, but Jesse Lingard loves playing football. Jesse Lingard wants to be playing football. And I believe that he genuinely, much like a lot of other professionals, just wants to enjoy his career while it's there. Because one thing about football is you can be a mercenary. You can accept high wages and sit on the bench like the Phil Joneses of this world. No offense to Phil Jones. But your career isn't very, very long. And I think you got to make the most of it. And I think Jesse Lingard has had a fantastic career. He's made a semi-final for England. He's won a Europa League with Manchester United. He's won a Carabao Cup with Manchester United. He's won an FA Cup with United. So Jesse Lingard, except for the Premier League title and the Champions League, has really done it all with Manchester United. And he's done more than a lot of people have done for England, fam. To make a semi-final of the World Cup is a big, big thing, for England, in my opinion. So I think this is a positive move for him. I genuinely do. And for Manchester United, I don't know if it's the best thing ever, but we did trigger a one-year contract extension on Jesse Lingard, which shows intent to sell, in my opinion. It shows intent to sell. It shows intent that we want to get a sell-on value for this player, which I'm personally proud of. I'm not proud of a lot of things that this board does, and I do not give them credit for anything. And actually, after last transfer window, the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got screwed over, I don't expect anything from this board. In fact, I question every signing they make. I question every bit of business they do. However, not letting Lingard go for free is a good business decision, and it's a good footballing decision as well. And I think if he goes to loan in West Ham and he completely lights it up, they might want to sign him permanently, fam. Or even better, other clubs might be coming and circling around the Lingard deal. So that's all I've got to say with regard to Jesse Lingard. If he does go to West Ham, I'll wish him all the best, fam, because he is one of those United players where you might criticize him and you might be fed up with him on the pitch, and he might have gotten more chances than anybody else in that team. But the sentiment is difficult to get rid of because he is a likable character. I think Jesse Lingard brings so much to the team. I heard Mark Goldbridge say something along the lines of Jesse Lingard brings more to the team than Dan James and Juan Mata. And I kind of agree with that. I don't know about Juan Mata in terms of mentality, because I think Juan Mata brings experience and mentality and wisdom to the team, because you can see on the training ground that he has a positive effect on the team and that he's a very well-liked character. But you could say the same about Jesse Lingard. I mean, the guy's made multiple semi-finals. He's made a European final. Yes, it was the Europa League, not the Champions League, but some players have never won a Europa League, fam. There's a lot of young players in that dressing room who've never gone close to sniffing a Champions League or Premier League, so they need to learn how to win the smaller trophies first before they go on to the bigger trophies. There's a lot of players in that dressing room who still need to adopt a winning mindset and a winning mentality, and whether or not Jesse Lingard actually has that, he's probably one of the few players in that dressing room who has accolades, who's probably leaving now. When I compare him to Dan James, obviously he brings more than Dan James. I think we've all realized with Dan James that he's nothing but a pace merchant and that he needs to develop his game, fam. So good luck to Jesse Lingard, wishing him all the best. But moving on before this video drags on way too long, I think the situation with Manchester United at the moment in terms of transfers, this is a positive bit of business. And even though I wasn't happy with the price that we let Fosu Mensah go for, Fosamento was a positive bit of business. Upon reflection and upon taking my time to think about that deal, it was a good deal because we weren't using Fosamento. Even though I thought he was a good squad player, we weren't using him. So it's a good bit of business. Getting rid of Romero and getting rid of Rojo, if we could have done those in this window, I would have said this is a good window in terms of outgoing players. In terms of players coming in, though, I think it's an absolute disgrace. I really, really do. And I think it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that Manchester United is in this rosy wonderland at the moment and it's an absolute utopia. And let's just enjoy the ride. Let's just have fun for now. But I tell you what, in 18 months from now, we could be looking back on this and saying, boy, how foolish were we? Why didn't we pressure this board? Or we could be looking back and congratulating them on the great work they've done by sticking with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even though they screwed him over in the last transfer window. I don't know. Make your own mind up. But for me, fam, I am going to enjoy the ride. I'm going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer till the end of the season because uttering the words Ole out at the moment is an idiotic statement, you know. I still don't think we'll win the league. I still don't think he's going to be the long-term manager. But with that said, we're top of the league, so I just got to shut my gob and see what happens, fam. And I hope he proves me wrong. I hope we win the league title, obviously. But the way this club has handled this transfer window for me is an absolute disgrace, and I think that should be in the back of every Manchester United fan's mind, fam. You know, like the pro Glazer arguments I've heard this week, people congratulating the board by sticking with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Do you really think the Glazers have stuck with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because they in some sort of, I don't know, in some sort of crazy world to you, the Glazers saw potential in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Bullshit, man. Bullshit. They hired this manager because of PR reasons. Because of PR reasons, and number two, they weren't competent enough to get a proper manager in. He went on a 3-month run as an interim, and instead of saying thank you, well done, you did a good job as an interim, we gave him the job. Manchester United are the only club in the world who would give an interim the job, fam. And look, it might work out in hindsight, but let's not pretend it was genius. Let's not pretend it was fine ingenuity and strategy and philosophy by the club. It was all chance. So, you know, I'm not giving this board credit for anything, fam. Anything. I'd rather even give Woodward credit over this board, fam, because at least Woodward signed Bruno Fernandes, fam. And even then, I would say that was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's signing because he didn't want to sign Bruno Fernandes in the summer. He only waited until January, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer clearly needed midfielders. So, you know, for me, the situation with this board, I would keep that in the back of my mind. Yes, we're top of the league. Yes, we're playing magnificently at the moment. Yes, we're one of the best teams in form in England at the moment, and you got to enjoy the ride. As I've always said, if you're not enjoying this ride, I don't think you're a Manchester United fan. But that doesn't mean the club is void from criticism. That doesn't mean everything is rosy and great in the Manchester United garden. And big up to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Big up to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because even though I don't think he is the right man for the job long term, he is proving everybody wrong at the moment with their lack of backing. He wanted Jadon Sancho, he didn't get Jadon Sancho. He wanted Upamecano or centre-back, maybe Nathan Ake. Whichever centre-back he wanted, he didn't get the centre-back. Instead, he got Donny van der Beek, who he doesn't know what to do with because that's not who he asked for. He thought Paul Pogba was leaving and we were linked to Grealish. So Grealish, Sancho, and a centre-back, whether that's Upamecano or Nathan Ake or both, that's 3 or 4 players that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did not get in the transfer window. He did not get in the transfer window. Now, Telles, I don't know if that was an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing or not, but that you will let that one slide. You know, he's had a positive impact, in my opinion, on Luke Shaw, and he is a positive reinforcement for the club. But every other signing that happened in that window was not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signing. I don't believe so. Yes, Edison Cavani, in hindsight and upon reflection, was not a terrible signing. I still don't know what my full opinion is on Edison Cavani, and I hope he keeps proving me wrong. And I hope he has a double-digit amount of goals in all competitions. Probably, I would like him to get around 20 goals, but we'll see. Hopefully he has a double-digit amount of goals in all competitions. But yeah, I don't think we should be celebrating or loading off this board or Ed Woodward for any of this progress, because I think it's 100% down to the players and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And just because we're winning at the moment doesn't mean that this club's problems long-term and short-term are solved.